In this video, I'm going to show you my remote recording equipment and my Village recording studio. So let's get started. If you watch my video on studio recording, the beginning of this video will be very similar. The first piece of equipment that we have is our computer, and we use the Reaper DAW. It's really good software. It serves us well. We can record and post-produce very quickly with it, and our audio engineers can share projects between each other. We use Sweetwater.com as our recording equipment standard. And we don't buy everything from Sweetwater Sound, but it's sweetwater.com. If they sell it, then I assume that the standard is good for this equipment. It's not consumer equipment. Consumer equipment can just really bite you, and it might be cheap, but it costs you a lot of other ways. Then when I go to the Village, I always take backups of things. So I will take two Focusrite audio interfaces with me. USB cables, I take backups of those, and so you get the USB cables that you need for your equipment. XLRs. We have good XLR cables, and of course, I take backups of those too, just in case when I'm out somewhere, I can't get others. Here in our studios, they're hanging on the wall. Now this is where it varies and changes. We use the Shure WH headset microphone. And we use this because it's a dynamic microphone. A lot of people use condenser microphones, and they will pick up all the noise in all the rooms. It'll get the cockroach over in the corner breathing. But with this, it's a really dead microphone, and you have to position it really close to their mouth. And that cancels a lot of the noise using this microphone. I do like the older version of this where it goes over the top of your head. This can squeeze a little bit on a person's head for a little bit, so you have to consider that. And positioning this mic is a little bit harder than with the old one, but they don't sell those anymore unless you find them on some kind of remote site. This was a game changer. This is a new upgrade for me. The Cloudlifter CL amplifier, and it is powered by phantom power. But before, with this microphone back here, we had to, on our Focusrite, crank the gain all the way to the very top when we had really weak speakers. So it was really hard to record them. With this, it gives a 23 dB boost on the signal. And now I have so much more control, because on the top end of the Focusrite, it's like you don't get anything and you barely move it, and all of a sudden it's too loud. And so with this, I can bring it back, and it works better with the Focusrite. We've all had that problem with all our different Focusrites. And once I put this into the system, it's just made it so much easier, and I get so much better recording. So yes, it's $150, but this, between this microphone and this right here, it makes Village recordings or remote recordings really possible to be able to get out all the noise. Well, good chunk of the noise, you know. The Village, you get noise. Then I have USB speakers. You can get where you find some small speakers. I could not find the ones on the internet that we use, but they're really small. They magnets, they hold together. And so something that the people can hear and just not using your computer speaker. So I don't carry extras of these because I use my computer speakers as my backup, but I do have extras of other things. Headphones. I like these to do an EQ. I don't take two of these because I take another headphone. I take the Sonys with me. The reason I take the Sonys is because these are hard to wear on one ear. Just how they fit, that hard to have on one ear. But these, you can put them on one ear. So I want to be able to listen when they're speaking, make sure that they're not puffing into the microphone or they're just having unusual mouth noises. You won't be able to hear those if you didn't have the headphones on. But also I have it on one ear because I want to hear what's going on in the room and noises outside and things like that. So these headphones are easy to wear on one ear. So that's my backup headphones. Okay, I only take one fan. but this can be a lifesaver in some locations. I have frozen to death at recordings up in the Highlands, but on the coast, just this little USB fan just to blow it on you just really helps. We do have fans that we blow on other people, but they live there and I just die from the heat because I live in the Highlands. Then a backpack. This is where I carry all my equipment. Everything I had that I showed you, my computer and everything, I carry with me in my backpack. All my backup equipment, I carry in another suitcase. But I carry all my non-backup equipment in my backpack. And if I lose my luggage, I still can go ahead and do the recording. So it's really important for me to be able to carry everything with me. Before, we used to have cases. We had 5 or 6 big, huge cases. Nowadays, everything is small. I can carry it in that backpack, and it's great to be able to know that I have that confidence that when I get there, I can do recording, even if I lose my luggage. When we go on remote recordings, it's amazing what requests that you get. I go out there and I think I'm going to do a single book, and all of a sudden they say, oh, we would like to do this gospel multi-voice. But a lot of times too, they say, can we do music? And I say, when we get done with the narration, I will be willing to do music for you. So I record a lot of music when I'm in remote locations. This is, Zoom or something like this is really good to be able to do recording of music. It's $200 and there's other versions and stuff like that. But it's just, you just do a stereo recording. I do take the Rode NT4 stereo mic with it. It is a little pricey, but it is a nice microphone and I use it all the time. If you don't want to go with the high end there, you can go with something like this, a stereo bar that you can put your microphones on, and you can set them at the right angles. And then with that stereo bar, I use the AKG 1000 microphones. And so that's how I get my stereo recording. And you'll need a stand also. If you're going to do music, you'll need a stand. Sometimes I don't take a stand and I've hung it with a string or I've done other things. But if you have a stand and you can take a stand with you, it can just be a basic stand to be able to hold if it's going to be your Rode microphone or your Zoom or something like that. And you want to position it above the people's head and kind of pointing down to them if you're doing stereo miking. So when it comes to remote locations, people think of this, that you're going to somehow have some kind of remote studio. So they say, okay, this is what we're going to have. But I have never, in my 23 years, have built a remote recording studio. They are hot sometimes. You can't see the person. A lot of times there's bad lighting. I've talked to a lot of people doing recordings from other organizations, and they say that they hate the remote recording studios, but that's how they're taught how to do it. I do not do it that way. This is my remote recording studio. We're sitting at the table across from each other, and we get very good sound. And it's very kind of personal, and people really like this setup. And here's another recording studio. We had to put her in the kitchen because the wind was blowing so much on the mic, it was making so much noise. So they were grading the road just probably 50 meters away from us, and we had a lot of noise. We had a lot of other noises. We had roosters, we had birds, and we had to deal with that. And in another video, I'm going to show you how to deal with those noises, how to deal with the issues with close miking the person, so that you can have a good recording in a remote location without building studios and doing other things like that. If you found any value in this video, please like, subscribe, and share so YouTube will recommend it to others.